Hey guys, this is Miss Greathouse, Miss Course, and Miss Cox, and today I want to walk you through logging into StudySync and looking at the first module that you have assigned as remote learning. You need to find your single sign-on. For some of you, you have a little round button that says SSO. You can go to the Marble Falls website if you can't find it and click on the SSO. It will pop up like this, and it will have all of your icons once it loads. All right, so here are what the icons look like, and you're looking for the half red and white icon that says Connect Ed McGraw-Hill. So that's when you launch it, and when you do launch it, it opens up. Here it'll say which period you're in, you hit launch, and it brings you to your home screen, except for it will say welcome back, and it will have your name right there. That first screen that you see when you log in is your assignments tab. And you guys already know that, but this is just for any kind of newish people, or if you haven't done it in a while, or if you've forgotten and you've been on spring break. So just all reminding so that you have that help. You will see first read Casey at the bat as your assignment. So it looks like this. It has a little ball, baseball, grass, and it says first read Casey at the bat. You guys already know that when you log in, you will see the first thing there is the intro. So you can watch the video, and it tells you all about Casey at the bat. The background information, of course, it was written by an author named Ernest Thayer from 1863 and 1940. That was his life, how long he lived. So you can read about him. Remember that you have your audio button to help you if you need to have it read to you. The next tab that you will look at is your read tab. I want to show you while you're at home as a quick reminder that on the left here, if you have a scaffolds tab and you click on it, it will bring up for you your visual glossary, your help with all of the vocabulary words, and you can have that open when you need to check those words. So as you're going along and you see, okay, I'm not sure what melancholy means, then you can see that the definition is there. That scaffolds tab can be clicked on as you need it, or you can leave it open the entire time you're reading. Up top, after you have your first read, and the poem's not very long, but you will do your first read, and if you click on the third tab, that is the quiz tab. Now, we're not taking all of the quiz. We are going to do questions 3, 4, 5, 9, and 10. So I'm going to read those for you now because our supports in here will not read the questions, and we want you to be able to have that help should you need it from home. On question 3, the instructions for the student are that you should read the question carefully and select the best answer. The mood when Flynn and Jimmy Blake are due up to bat in the third stanza is best described as. So they want you to describe the mood. The best way to answer this is to go to split screen mode right up here, because then it puts the question right next to your text. And you can add the numbers so that it will number the lines and the stanzas of the poem. Okay? So let's look at the mood when Flynn and Jimmy Blake were up to bat. So you would want to scroll down and look for Flynn and Jimmy Blake. Is it answer choice A, jubilant, because both players are fan favorites and two of Mudville's best? Is the answer B, optimistic, because the fans know Casey can win the game for them? Or C, calm, because everyone knows the game will be ending shortly? Or D, downcast, because the fans do not have faith in either player? So, jubilant means joyful. Optimistic means positive. Like, are they positive? Calm means chill. Like, they are chill and calm. And downcast would mean sad, like their mood was down. So look back at your text evidence, press pause so that you can think about it and read back through the poem and select the best answer. Question 4. Read the question carefully and select the best answer. Which of the following words best describes Casey in stanzas 7 through 10? So we're going to look at the stanza numbers. So this lines 1 through 4 are stanza 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I'm going to leave those open. Okay, so we want to know which of these words best describes Casey. Now, I noticed that all of these words have to do with mood, the mood of this character. So is he A, nervous, B, angry, C, overconfident or cocky, or is he D, humble, which means that he's not bragging about himself? I'm going to press pause and I want you to do the same so that you can think about that, reread the text, and answer the question. All right, read this question carefully and select the best answer. Which of the following statements is best supported by the entire poem? A, the fans worship Casey like a god. B, Mudville has no luck toward the end of their games. C, Casey does not want all of Mudville's hopes put on him. Or D, in the end, the crowd knows that this is just one game. So look back at your text evidence and think about the statement that best supports what the entire poem's message is. So you would need to reread it. So I'm going to have you press pause now and look back at the poem and see which answer choice is best. Right. Question number 9. It asks you to match each vocabulary word with its corresponding synonym. A synonym is a word that means the same thing as the word that you're looking at. Okay, so you already had, those of you with the scaffolding supports, you already had the definitions given to you as you were doing your first read. So what you would do, and we can do the first one together here. The synonym is dark, and I would want to look and see which of these words best is described as dark. And I would think back to the definition that I was given for each of the words. The word grim was, the definition given for the word grim in my scaffold and supports was gloomy or serious. So that would be the best synonym for that word. And I would drag and drop, or I can be in the box and I can hit select answer and it will bring up the choices and I can select grim that way. There's 2 ways that you can answer the questions. So you would use those definitions to find synonyms or words that mean the same thing to answer this vocabulary portion. I'm going to have you press pause so you can do those now. The last question is question 10. Order these events chronologically as they occur in the poem. This is where we want to look back at the poem and see what items happened first, second, third, and fourth. In chronological order, that has to do with the timing of these events. So we're looking for what happened first in the poem, what happened second, and then third and fourth. So you can look at your answer choices and leaving your split screen open. It would be great because then you can start looking back through and seeing when did these things happen, in which order did they happen in the poem, and you can start to fill that in. To remind myself what happened first, I would want to go back to the first part of the poem and start looking over stanza 1. The outlook wasn't brilliant for the Mudville 9. The score stood 4-2. So I'm going to start looking at any of these options and seeing if they match what would be the first thing that happened. And I can see that this answer choice also says Mudville is losing by 2 runs, which is what line number 2 says that. So I think that this one is the best answer choice for being the first piece of action. And then you can continue to look at the rest of the choices and fill in the rest of them on your own. Okay, don't forget that once you finish all of these 5 questions that you were assigned, and you don't have 1 through 10, you only have 5 of these. Once you finish all of them, at the very bottom it says save and continue. And once you do that, it will take you to the next tab, which is number 4, the Think tab. So under the Think tab, you are going to answer Think questions number 1 and Think questions number 5. Now, again, I want to show you that when you are in your number 4 of your Think tab, if you have your scaffolds, you want to click on those. Let's read the question together. How many players bat before Casey in the poem? What are the results of their batting attempts? Cite specific evidence from the poem to support your answer. Okay, you're going to need to look back at the text. I'm sure that from here you already know how to do it. So you could hit split screen mode to look back. How many batters bat before Casey? Okay, so you can look back through and start counting it off. So we have Cooney and Barrows. So those are the first names that come up. You would need to start going through and finding out who all bats before Casey. Okay, now I'm going to turn off my split screen mode because I want to show you how the scaffolds help you create sentences by using the starters. So I can put that, okay, I can put that 4 players, if I counted them all up, died at first base. That means that they struck out. The results of their batting attempts are that they did not make it past first base. And that's kind of like baseball talk. Okay, it says in the poem that Flynn is a hoodoo and who is a cake. So if I want to go ahead and press pause, I can go ahead and put my sentence stems by hitting the arrow response for this Think question number 1. As you can see, it corresponds here. And I can go back to my split screen, and while my sentence starters are there, I know where I'm at. 4 players, so I had Cooney, Barrows. They're from the first, they're from the 3rd stanza. Flynn gets a hit in line 13, and Jimmy Blake gets a hit in line 14. So I can look back at both of them. So that's 4 players. Cooney, Barrows, Flynn, and Jimmy Blake. They all batted before Casey. So Flynn, it says, is a hoodoo. And who was the cake? Jimmy Blake is a cake. Altogether, there are 4 players that bat before Casey. So to go to my next question, I would want to hit save and continue. And it should bring up Think question number 5, which is your next one. So in my support screen over to the left, I'm going to leave split screen mode so I can look at my scaffolds. I would scroll down to scaffold for number 5. And at the bottom of the scaffolds there you see the word bank that helps you out. In Greek, the word melancholia described a physical condition marked by an excess of black bile. Interesting. Which was formerly thought to alter a person's mood. Use this knowledge along with the context clues to define the word melancholy as it is used in line 11. Write your best definition here and explain how you figured it out. So you've got your word bank over here. So we're going to press pause and bring up the poem. So I would be able to scroll down to where I find the word melancholy. Here it is. But Flynn preceded Casey, as did also Jimmy Blake, and the former was a hoodoo, while the latter was a cake. So upon that stricken multitude, grim melancholy sat, for there seemed but little chance of Casey getting to the bat. So let's look at our support